This looks like the free market was being infringed upon. Do you have answers? Matt from Campbell, California. Matt sent us in a picture from Google Street View.
So this is not the actual store where it happened. This is some other time.
This is
a store in Mountain View.
This is a store in Mountain View where this happened.
If only the deco worked.
Yes.
This would be much better.
So there, the audience can see, what I'm looking at.
Look, Google took pictures of Mountain View.
So it's a store, and they have right here in this alcove. So if you can see it.
Kind of where that red dot is.
This is where, like inside the little store, they had a little cooler and they're selling stuff.
Yeah.
So is this?
But not in this picture.
Well, no. But this is an idea of what
Although
store it was.
there's a guy with a hand truck in this picture.
Okay, you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Okay.
Focus.
Focus.
Okay. Is this price fixing? If someone was to come from the festival and say, you got to sell your stuff at more for a higher price.
No, that's not price fixing.
It's not price fixing?
No, that's like extortion.
It's extortion.
No, price fixing is like, say you and I own two large oil companies.
Okay.
And say we're out golfing one afternoon, and I say, we're finding it really, really expensive to buy those things you put in the end of the drill bit. So we're thinking we're going to have to raise the price of our oil by about $9 a barrel. And then you go, wow, we were thinking of raising the price of barrels of oil by about $9 too. And then if we call our other oil buddies and we all raise the price of oil just coincidentally by $9 a barrel, say next Tuesday, that's price fixing. See, extortion is like when a guy comes into your store and says, nice store you got here. Be a shame if anything happened to it. I'm noticing you're selling bottled water for $1.25. How do you possibly pay for your fire insurance if you're only selling bottled water for $1.25 a bottle? I mean, most people find they really can't afford their fire insurance unless they're paying at least $2 a bottle for bottled water, is all I'm saying. Not that I'm implying anything, although a lot of fires happen. Okay? That's extortion.
That's extortion.
That's kind of like what's happening here. Now, that said, they're paying $2 for bottled water. I mean, that's
robbery.
That's more than you pay for gas, for God's sakes.
No. You pay $3
for a gallon of gas. But a bottle of water is like 8 ounces. I mean, that's, $4 for... Bottled water doesn't make any sense. I mean, when I was a kid, my parents would have laughed at me if I said I need $2 for water, because they'd have been like, find a fountain, you pipsqueak. Although they wouldn't have called me a pipsqueak.
There's no evidence there was any strong-arming from our letter from Matt. He was just saying, hey, you should raise your price.
Be a shame if you didn't.
Let's say he didn't
Let me move this sign that advertises your current price out of the way. Yeah.
So it's not price fixing?
I'm not a prosecutor.
Right.
And you're not either. But, yeah.
Okay. I'd written one line down for this. Sherman Antitrust Act.
The Sherman Antitrust Act, yes.
That would be for price fixing. Not extortion.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Look, it's 9:41. Have we got any tweets? He says, knowing the answer in his head. Okay, we got tweets, but they're all from the people in the studio, so
okay.
I don't think they count.
All right, our next topic is...
The people at home will have to decide whether people in the studio tweeting us count as tweets. Go on.
Our next topic is the Ground Zero Mosque.
Yes, the famous Ground Zero Mosque.
We had a sound effect.
It's delayed.
Ground Zero Mosque.
Because of the Muslims. They purposely delayed that sound effect.
That will certainly get us.
To ruin America.
How is the name Ground Zero Mosque misleading?
In many ways, because Ground Zero right now is a construction thing where they're building an office tower and a memorial park, and there's no mosque in it at all.
So this mosque they're referring to will not be at Ground Zero.
No, it's like 2 blocks away. And in New York, they made their blocks really big. I don't know why. I think because they made their blocks before cars were invented, so they were like, we'll just make the blocks really far apart. I could be wrong about that.
Well, they
are really far apart. Like, they're long blocks.
They'd have to walk them then.
Well, they had to walk all the time. There were no cars.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty much cars or horses.
What's the real name of this Ground Zero mosque?
It's the something something community center.
Is it the Park 51?
Why did you ask if you knew?
I'm the prosecutor.
You're leading the witness.
I have
You're
to
leading
ask
the
you a
expert
question.
witness.
Isn't it true that this is called the Park 51?
Yes, I'm told it's going to be called the Park 51.
Or the Cordoba House. It was originally called the Cordoba House. Then they
That's
changed
assuming
the
they managed to
name
actually get it done.
to Park 51. What's going to stop them from getting it done?
Oh, just crazy angry people that don't have any real. I mean, if you get enough people angry at you, even though those people got no reason, no rational reason to care in the world, they can just make trouble for you.
Why are people angry?
Well, largely because they've been riled up because people need a political issue. And the thought is, well, for God's sakes, Muslims flew planes into the towers, so we shouldn't let them build anything anywhere near ground zero. Because if we do, it means we're letting them win, and they're stomping all over the graves of all the people that died. Even though a fair number of the people that died were in fact Muslim, and the people that flew the planes into the buildings happened to be Muslim, but they weren't terribly representative of all Muslims everywhere, and a lot of Muslims thought flying planes into buildings was a terrible thing to do, and they've expressed that in many occasions, including the people who are trying to build this community center.
So the Muslims who flew the planes, they were
Well, they're dead.
extremists. Right?
Yes. Crazy people.
And as far as we know, the people who want to build this community center
Less crazy. A lot
are
less
not-
crazy, most likely. I mean,
probably not extremists, right? They seem like
don't seem
reasonable
to be.
people.
I think so.
Like this is not just a mosque, right? It's 13 floors of lots of
It's
stuff.
actually mostly not a mosque. I mean, it's not really a mosque at all. They're going to have a floor, kind of a room, in which they will occasionally have Muslim prayers and ceremonies. But it's not a mosque because, among other things, it's not divided into two halves so that the women and men can pray separately. It doesn't have minarets. Doesn't have many of the other accoutrements that mosques do. And mosques don't have a lot of the other stuff that they are going to have.
They're going to have like swimming
A
pools,
gym.
gyms. They have a culinary institute,
Yeah.
libraries. Can the
But
government?
you get a lot more, political play out of it if you call it a ground zero mosque as opposed to a 2-block away community center.
Because Ground Zero Mosque sounds crazy.
Yeah, it sounds
Something
crazy.
you should be angry about.
Yeah.
But Park 51 Community Center doesn't sound quite
it
as
sounds
crazy.
Kind of boring, actually.
Can the government stop this?
Possibly. The government could try to impose some kind of zoning regulation. I mean, they bought the building, as I understand, and they applied to get the zoning changed because it used to be a Burlington coat factory, so it's quasi-industrial, I'd think. And they're trying to use it for probably assembly purposes. I don't quite know the laws in New York, but they're probably similar. So they probably need a zoning change to allow them to use it for this.
I believe
they
I read
probably
that the
need
zoning
some level of
has
architecture. I
already
think
gone
the zoning has
through,
already gone through, but
like
I mean, you can always
9-0.
appeal some of these things. There are often timeouts. And even when you've gotten the zoning change, the city could put up a lot of barriers in your way. Now, I don't believe the city is, because Mayor Bloomberg has largely indicated he thinks they have all the rights to do this that they want to do, that it's not inappropriate, that the uproar is politically motivated, not based on the particular facts of this case, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
What I'm trying to lead you into saying is First Amendment.
Well, that would be part of it, yeah.
So First Amendment says
First Amendment says that the government shouldn't interfere or otherwise establish a religion, or should it prohibit the free exercise of people's religion. The fact that they're going to happen to worship, I mean, in some sense, the government actually allows religions to do things they don't otherwise allow other groups to do. Religious organizations tend not to pay taxes. But you would hope that the First Amendment would prohibit the government from cracking down on these people just because they want to put up a Muslim prayer center there.
Right.
If the government would have allowed a Baptist church there, they should allow a Muslim.
There's already another mosque
Like
near
4 blocks away.
4 blocks.
And there's like a strip club a block and a half from Ground Zero.
Right, and a whole bunch of other
Shady.
shady places.
Yeah, I think they've even got a McDonald's and a Starbucks down there.
Yeah.